out of London. Let's move out of London and let's do it by city. Let's go to Manchester. And let's go to the champions of the Premier League, Manchester City, and maybe they don't need anyone because they're kind of almost infallible in every area. But I was looking at their team, I was kind of identifying what they needed to get, and it's kind of something that has been touched on by a lot of people in the past, or not in the past, but in the last couple of weeks. Defensive midfield. Fernandinho's getting on. Obviously, Rodgers going to be holding down that spot for the next foreseeable future. So they just need a little bit of depth in that area. And I've gone with Kalvin Phillips from Leeds. Now, let's bring up his FB ref before we do anything. And if you just ignore the top two sections of that, I mean, we can see his defensive traits are beyond exceptional. 28.42 pressures, ranking in the 98th percentile. 3.67 tackles per 90, ranking in the 97th percentile. 2.37 blocks, ranking in the 96th percentile. It's exceptional. It's exceptional, and it's something that, while Man City don't necessarily need, he's the Pep Guardiola player. He's the Pep Guardiola midfielder, in my opinion. High octane, high tempo, high energy, pressing really, really hard, and as well as those stats potentially don't show his technical prowess, he's still competent on the ball. Like, he was playing in a Leeds team where, especially this season, where they would get onto the ball and they'd be pressed straight away, and they'd be under the pump. He wouldn't get on the ball in areas of the pitch where he was able to look up and think and take his time. With City, if he plays, he'll be able to do that. So I think take those possession stats with a little bit of a grain of salt. But if we look at his heat map, we can see, I mean, it's exactly what you want from a defensive midfielder. Exactly what you want. Being able to shuttle across the back four. He's like you said, he's capable of pushing up the pitch as well. If we've seen in those left and right channels, he's able to get into those positions. We saw him do it for England as well in the Euros, playing alongside Declan Rice or playing alongside Jordan Henderson. He's able to push forward. So he can be that versatility in a sense as well. He's very aggressive, can play slightly higher as well if needed, like I just said. And he's comfortable being uncomfortable. That's one of the key aspects of his game that I noticed. He's comfortable being uncomfortable. He wants to get into, he wants to test himself, he wants to push himself really hard. That's why he was so good under Marcelo Bielsa. Marcelo Bielsa pushes players like no other coach in world football. He's comfortable being uncomfortable. And when you transition from a Leeds team to a Man City team, especially a Leeds side that was bordering on relegation, when you move to a Man City side, there's going to be a lot of uncomfortableness about that transition, and he'll be ready to go right into that system, ready to adapt, ready to improve technically and defensively. There's nothing in my mind that screams that this won't work. Won't offer a lot of money in terms of transfer fees and wages, so I guess that shouldn't be an issue for him. Yeah, it is the... I mean, City don't really need a signing. I mean, they got Haaland, and he was the only missing piece of that City team. They didn't have a number 9. They got their number 9, and now they need a defensive midfielder to replace Fernandinho. He's the guy. Still young, English as well, which always helps. And yeah, he's coming again, like I said, he's coming off a Marcelo Bielsa team, who are very similar to Pep Guardiola's team in a sense in terms of their tempo. So that won't be an issue for him. Yeah, I just see this as a tick, tick, tick. I don't see this being an issue for City in any sense. Kalvin Phillips is the guy they need to get in sooner rather than later. And I mean, beyond that, I don't really see them having any more issues. Maybe a left back if Zinchenko leaves back up there, but yeah, I don't see why they can't get this through the door pretty quickly. Kalvin Phillips is an ambitious player. He wants to play at the highest level, so this should get done sooner rather than later. So let's